Let's talk about the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, and how much of an absolute belly flop this has been for the Democrats. So, starting out here, we have they've been outshined, even on their own stage, by other things that are going on with Republicans. So we have this woman from Baltimore. I believe her name is Kimberly Klacik. Yes, Kimberly Klacik. And she has an ad that has just absolutely trounced Michelle Obama's speech. And this is just an ad that she put out that went viral. And so this is from the Daily Wire. So Republican strategist and GOP congressional candidate Kimberly Klacik released a hard-hitting ad slamming Democrats for their apparent fake concern for black lives, highlighting the devastation of Democrat-run cities, particularly in Baltimore. The ad went viral, racking up millions of views within hours and earning astounding social media engagement such as likes, shares, and comments. The ad was so hot, in fact, it seemed to have eclipsed former First Lady Michelle Obama's Democratic National Convention speech given on the same day. Now, I did not watch much of the convention, but I did watch Michelle Obama's speech. I fell on that grenade for you guys so that you did not have to. So the least you can do is hit the like button, because I sat through 18 and a half minutes of Michelle Obama just cloyingly preening about how dignified she is and how America is dignified and how Trump is not. Bullshit. First of all, she starts on by blabbering about the struggle that people are going through. And then she goes on to say, and who we choose as our president in this election will determine whether or not we honor that struggle and chip away at that injustice. Now, keep in mind, she did not mention Joe Biden. She didn't mention Joe Biden in fact, in the video until almost 12 minutes in. It was all about she actually didn't hardly even mention Trump by name. She just inferred that everything that we're going through is a result of Trump. And she talked about how when they lost in 2016, that, even though Hillary won by almost 3 million votes in the popular vote, which don't count for shit here in America, we have the Electoral College. But she tried to make every excuse in the book. And she said, one of the things that caught my attention was she said that maybe we were just fed up. We were fed up. With your damn husband, Michelle. Or Michael, depending on which video you hear Barack referring to her as. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I just got to wedge my Obama jokes in there where I can. She also claimed that Barack Obama owned a record-breaking stretch of job creation. Last I checked, Barack Obama was not president in 2019, or 2018, or 2017. But of course, the Democrats have claimed Trump's economy is their own all the way up until the pandemic, which they themselves have essentially hoisted onto a pedestal and exacerbated beyond belief by fudging the numbers, monetarily incentivizing hospitals to misreport numbers so that they can shut down the economy that they know Trump built, because they knew that they could only run on claiming Trump's successes for themselves for so long. Well, they have done a good job of hurting the economy, but Trump has also done a good job of keeping it afloat despite all of their best efforts. I believe the Dow and NASDAQ are both up right now, so they're not going to really have the economy to run against Trump like they thought they would, like they planned they would. She also complained that Trump backed out of deals that were forged by Obama. So things like the Iran deal, where you put $400 million on pallets of $4 million cash on pallets and shipped them off to one of the most abusive, tyrannical nations in the world. And then I think they added like $1.3 billion to their payments, and that was all just so they could trust that Iran was not going to create nuclear weapons, which of course they were. And so Trump was smart to back out of that deal. Another one is the Ukrainian aid. If you forget, they tried to impeach Trump over supposedly halting Ukrainian aid, which We're going to find out coming soon, I'm pretty sure, that there was a whole lot of backdoor deals going on where the Obama administration was shipping billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine, knowing that most of it was just going to be pilfered and stolen by the corrupt Ukrainian government, and that they were going to get a few $1,000,000 kicked back to them under the table. So, yeah, you guys tried to impeach him for backing out of one of the dirty deals made under Barack Obama. Another would be the TPP. Barack Obama was all about the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And that would have just continued Joe Biden's job and Dianne Feinstein and those of their ilk, their job in dismantling America and shipping us off for parts to countries like China. So, good on Trump for backing out on that. Another would be the Paris Climate Accord, which was essentially a global communist way for other countries to shake down American prosperity, take it for themselves, and they would do very, very little to actually improve the environment. That is why all of the environmental, Greta Thunberg's "How dare you" is all aimed at Western civilization, yet she makes no mention of India or China, who are the two worst polluters in the world. It's almost like they're disingenuous. So, and another thing about Michelle Obama's speech, and I kind of hinted at this a little bit, just the way she talked was the fakest, most, I'm trying to be so sweet and I'm trying to be endearing because we're better than this, we're blah. But there were a couple times when the mask slipped and a little bit of angry Michelle started to peer through. And you could see that her intonations would change. And then all of a sudden she'd go back into her sweet little Michelle Obama mode. It was pure and utter garbage. She didn't even mention Kamala Harris, which was pretty much proof that this wasn't live. She recorded this probably weeks ago. And the fact that it even took 12 minutes for her to even mention Joe Biden. And that's another thing. She described Joe Biden as what did she say about Joe Biden? I put it in here somewhere. Oh shoot! Did I not put the note in here? All right. So she said something along the lines, and it's the exact same words that you've heard other people talk about Joe Biden, and that he is a man of decency and that he is ruled by faith. Something along those lines. And we've heard those words used about Joe Biden just countless times. It's a talking point. It is a scripted line. It's funny. I was actually watching The Manchurian Candidate last night. Not the original Frank Sinatra. I was watching the Liev Schreiber and Denzel Washington remake last night. And it was funny because there was a part where Denzel Washington, he would hear Liev Schreiber, who was the Manchurian Candidate, giving his lines on television, and he was able to recite them with Liev Schreiber because he remembered them being brainwashed with those same lines as back previously in the movie. And it's something about it just reminded me of that, hearing them all reciting the exact same jargon, the exact same lines about Joe Biden. It was very Manchurian Candidate-esque. Which was just so ironic that I just happened to watch that movie last night. I've been watching political thrillers recently. She also said, those who know they can't win fair and square at the ballot box are doing everything they can to stop us from voting. Well, that might have been one of the most honest things that she said the entire night. Because yes, those who can't win fair and square at the ballot box are doing everything that they can to make sure that some people's votes don't count by pushing mail-in balloting, which we already know is an entirely fraudulent process. That there's no security checks and balances on it, and there is absolutely no way that we will have any faith in our election if even a couple states here and there run on mail-in balloting. If it's like California. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised to see California go red. I wouldn't be surprised to see California vote Trump. People don't realize this, but there are actually more Republicans in California than any other state in the entire nation. And at one point, this was a solidly red state. I think California, there is a decent chance, especially now that a lot of leftists have gone to Texas and have tried to Californize Texas. I just coined that word, Californize. Uh, um, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to even see California go red, and I think they might even be worried about that. So they're going to push this mail-in balloting because they know that there is virtually no security measures on the process. And not only that, we know that. They know that we know that. So they know that it is also going to undermine any faith that we have in the election. And even with conventional blue states like California, some of us are still thinking, I don't know, we might Trump might win all 57 states to quote to quote Barack Obama in his 57 states statement. Y'all like to make fun of Trump for not knowing that Kansas City isn't actually in Kansas. There is a Kansas City in Kansas. It's just on the other side of the river of Kansas City, Missouri. So y'all like to make fun of Trump for not knowing which side of the river that the Arrowhead Stadium is on, but you seem to forget that Obama thought there were 57 states. So it was an absolute. I mean, it made me want to pull my eyeballs out having to listen to Michelle Obama and the way that she was speaking. It was very condescending. The way that she thought that she could lull people into this nostalgic idea of utter decency that supposedly Barack Obama had when he was in office. She seems to forget that he is right now being investigated for damn treason. But she also talked about the Portland riots and she tried to make it sound like it was some great moment. I guess it's not just Portland, they've been everywhere, but some great moment when systemic racism was revealed to the world in the police killing of one person. Yes, that revealed systemic racism to the whole world, and how she was so proud of how people rose up and peacefully, stood against the power. Well, peacefully. Are you talking about this guy right here, Daddy Keese, who says, oh shoot, it's well, you won't be able to see the whole. I guess my window isn't fitting into the capture frame here, and I don't have a way to make it small. Actually, hold on, maybe I can make it smaller. I don't know. Anyways, so it said what he says at the bottom here: might go to jail for murder tonight for a racist when all I did was fight him. So look it up on Twitter. Put money on my books and come see me. All he did was fight him, huh? That's the guy right there, and he has. That does not look like he just fought somebody. It looks like not only has a whole gang of people beat this guy up, I don't know whether this guy actually did die or not. I'm not sure. I have to look into that. I should have looked into that. I didn't. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I'm trying to cover here with the articles. But going back here, I just think it's hilarious that this Kimberly Klacik, she comes out and she puts out this ad that, I don't know if you guys have seen the ad. She's walking through Baltimore, and she's showing Baltimore for what it really is. And it looks like The Wire. If you guys watched that show on HBO however many years back. It looks like The Wire. I mean, it's boarded up buildings, it's trash littered all over, everything is in decay, disrepair, broken windows. And so even on Twitter, Klacik has 25% more views than Michelle Obama. Now, this is what I thought was so hilarious. If we go to YouTube here and we try to look at some of the live coverage of the DNC of the DNC National Convention. So let's go to Joe Biden's stream here. Let me mute this because nobody actually wants to hear anything being said here. We have 5.5 thousand thumbs down. Let's add one to it. Next to 3.2K thumbs up. That is called being ratioed to hell. Then let's check out some of the other ones. So let's see NBC News. Let's maybe people are just trolling Joe Biden. Oh God, we got Bill Clinton delivering a speech. Oh God, all right, oh man, I had something funny for that too. So, but 4.5 thousand thumbs down to 3.4 thumbs up. Are you starting to see a trend here? Let's see from the Washington Post. Whoa! 4.9K thumbs down and 1.6K thumbs up for their live coverage of the Democrat National Convention. I mean, we don't really need to keep going, but I am having an absolute blast seeing how terrible the Democrats are being received. Not only now let's not only mention that they're being ratioed to hell with a massive amount more thumbs down than thumbs up. Just look at the small numbers. Just to think that they only get a couple thousand thumbs up, and they are getting a lot of thumbs down. The thumbs down numbers are about where you would expect them to be had they gotten like 25,000 thumbs up. It's the viewership. I mean, you got here on Joe Biden, 27,000 people watching. On MSNBC, 71,000. On NBC, only 18,000 people watching. 24,000 watching the Washington Post. All of these don't add up to 500,000 people. Now, how many people did you get watching online when Trump delivered his 4th of July speech in Mount Rushmore? It was something like 10 to 12 million people. So I don't know what the Democrats are thinking. This election is, and I think they know it's over. And you really got a very good sense of that when let's see, where was it? Well, so this is from Kyle Kulinski, and he runs the YouTube show Secular Talk. Now, he is a progressive. There is probably almost nothing that I would agree with this guy on, except for this right here. The moment Trump won re-election.
Good night.
Look at this. I mean, this is pathetic. All right. So what we have here is Billy Porter singing some old song from like the 1960s. You got some old guy playing a guitar. Billy Porter comes out wearing some goddamn like pirate outfit. Looking ridiculous. The production value. This looks like something that a high school kid would make when they first get a copy of iMovie. This is supposed to be the Democratic National Convention. Y'all are supposed to be bringing out the big guns. Excuse me. Let me grab some water. Y'all are supposed to be bringing out the big guns. It's a convention. I mean, think of like any kind of car convention. They're trying to bring out the newest, biggest, baddest stuff. It's all supposed. You got hot girls walking around everywhere. You got, and here, you get some frilly dude dressed in a damn blouse. This reminds me of the Dave Chappelle Rick James thing. What was it? Rick James? Was it the Rick James thing where they did the shirts versus blouses for the basketball game? You got some old guy. I think that's probably some guy who I should know, and if I knew his name, I'd probably recognize the name. But just boringly playing the guitar, standing there. They've got these cheesy graphics. They're putting no money into this. Now, I don't know if you've realized, Joe Biden, so Trump just bought a massive online ad spend up in the high seven figures. It could eclipse $10 million buying ads on places like YouTube and Google AdSense and Facebook, whatever. Spending over $10 million. When was the last time you saw a Joe Biden ad? I mean, I've seen a couple, and it's just him sleepy in front of the camera like, so guys, this is Joe Biden, and I'm asking you to vote for me. is the 5 seconds up? I need to skip this because it's putting me to sleep before the video I'm trying to watch. Yeah, apparently Trump has sent over 1 million of his campaign people door-to-door campaigning for Trump, because door-to-door is still a good way to go. It's still a good way to connect with people on a personal level, more so than even with ads and stuff on social media. You want to know how many people Biden has sent? 0. None. He's hardly campaigning. And what I found interesting, there's been all kinds of speculation about, is Joe Biden even the real candidate? At this point, we have to wonder. It's almost like there's two scenarios that could be playing. The first is that Joe Biden is not the real candidate, and they're going to switch him out with what would most likely be Michelle Obama, which might be why she didn't mention Joe Biden's name until about 12 minutes into her video and never mentioned Kamala Harris. Although I think that she actually recorded it before Kamala Harris was accepted, because Joe Biden took until mid-August to pick his VP, but is spending no money on the campaign. And so either they're going to switch him out, or they know they're going to lose, and they're just punting this. Now, you would think it's almost as if they have been running Operation Chaos between their... They're trying to strong arm the country into shutting down over the pandemic, over COVID. So they try to create chaos by shutting the country down, and they're still pushing to shut the country down for that. They were trying to push chaos with all of these riots. We know that the Democrats and their operatives in the media are completely behind all of these violent riots because they won't even call them damn riots. So you almost have to wonder if they are, what else they have in store, or whether they're finally about to give up. Whether they're finally going to acknowledge that Trump is going to stomp that ass in November. Because, you see the numbers. You see the inactivity. You see that the only activity that they have had has been chaos. And you almost have to think that if chaos was their strategy, that they really didn't have anything that was productive to build upon. They had no Biden message. They had no policy agenda. All they were trying to do was to defeat Trump by wrecking the country to the point where we just cry uncle and say, fine, get him out of here as long as you give us our lives back. Go back to selling us off to China so we can have maybe like 4 more years of pretend prosperity before we are literally a Chinese vassal state. But no, Americans are not bowing down to this. We are not kowtowing. And that makes me proud to be a damn American. Actually, I should say damn proud to be an American. I had to throw a damn in there somewhere, and I hit it the wrong place. Damn. But this whole thing has been an absolute shit show for the Democrats. And we can see they're trotting out Linda Sarsour. Linda Sarsour, absolutely our party. Democrats embrace Linda Sarsour at the National Convention. And the party's apparent embrace of Sarsour is notable because of her history of anti-Semitic comments and her support of boycott, divestment, and sanctions, the BDS movement, to isolate and cripple Israel. The Women's March, of which Sarsour was a longtime member, she wasn't a longtime member. She used to be one of the figureheads of it. Cut ties with her and 2 other board members for making anti-Semitic comments last year. These are the type of people that are in bed with the Democrats. These are the type of people that they're hosting. And they wonder why there is such a big walk-away campaign. People are running away at this point. Because not only, the only people that are on the sides of the Democrats are these people like Linda Sarsour, who is basically a pretend Muslim who's a feminist. And I think there's even a quote of Linda Sarsour at one point saying that the only reason she threw on a hijab is because without it, she was just another white woman. And so it's like a gimmick of hers. And if she was truly Muslim, she wouldn't be a feminist. Because there is no less feminist culture in the world than Islam. or I mean, maybe not in the world, but at least in our purview. I'm sure there's some least. I don't know a whole lot about a lot of cultures, but I do know that it's one that is not known for their feminism. So they're embracing people like that. They're embracing people like the rioters. They're embracing the communists. You actually even have on a panel that they had at the DNC, a panelist says, "The future we all want: the destruction of colonization, white supremacy, and capitalism." So Ashley McCrae on one of the panels at the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, says, "We understand we understand that this future that we all want, that we're all trying to build." Pump your brakes on all. It's a very, very small section of commies that are just really loud that are trying to build this. So anyways, sorry, I shouldn't have interjected. Let me just read through it. "We understand that this future that we all want, that we're all trying to build, really is about the destruction of colonization, white supremacy, and capitalism. We must really move away from these systems and these frameworks if we really want to live in a future that does have a regenerative economy and does enable liberation and equity for our communities. This is definitely something that we all push for." In the words of Leon Trotsky, the revolution is always verbose, meaning it is a whole bunch of stilted rhetoric, like regenerative economy. Guess what that means? But fucking nothing. Guess what? Enable liberation and equity for our communities. Guess what? You don't need to liberate your communities because you already live in the freest country in the world. And so our hope and our dream is that we do push forward Green New Deal. And I actually listened to the video, and she does speak in that, not the Green New Deal. She says, our hope is that we do push forward Green New Deal. "We do understand there is the Green New Deal, the AOC Markey policy, and that many of us have become accustomed to." These people live in an echo chamber. How small of a bubble do you have to live in to think that you are part of some sort of majority of people that want this? I think I clearly showed through the thumbs up, thumbs down on YouTube for this entire Democratic National Convention that most people are sick and tired of this bullshit. And so our hope and our... where was I? That have become accustomed to, but also realizing that on a state level, many different policies are being pushed forward that do relate to the Green New Deal, that are collectively moving forward into this regenerative economy and this regenerative future. And really, our position is that the Green New Deal and its policies, we're moving toward this way. We're moving towards this way anyway. Should it be that way? We're moving... I mean, that's semantics aside. These people think that they are the majority because they're the most insane, and because we have a media that is giving them a platform, and they think that we are going to be influenced by them. These people are not influencers. They are gnats buzzing around our faces that we just keep having to swat away. And hopefully, with the election and this coming November, we will swat them away for once and for all. We have had enough of this communist insurrection, enough of this communist Marxist infiltration of our institutions, of our culture, of our society. We are done with it. Trump 2020, MAGA all the way.